deeper I dig, the more I find. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Melinda, plain and simple. It's Tuesday, and that means it's time for another tiny tidy. And I am out here in my garage once again. I've been tidying up and decluttering my garage just a little at a time. So if you've got something around your house that you want to tidy up, clean, organize, or declutter, grab your stuff and come on, and we'll do this together. Well, one thing I'm going to do today is sweep this little bit of mess right here up. And then after that, I think I'm just going to head right on back here and start working in this area. Because as you can see, it's a bit of a mess. If you want more inspiration and motivation, click on the playlist. I'll have a link in the description box below. And I'll also have a link to Sunday Dawn's channel, The Helpful Home. She is the host of Tiny Tidy Tuesdays every week. I'd really like to tidy up this area over here, but it's not my stuff, so I'm not going to bother it. But I am going to get my broom out and do a little sweeping. I would consider that clutter, would you? I mean, it's making it look messy out here. Trash is considered clutter, so why not leaves that have blown in when the garage door's open? Well, I started sweeping up and ended up, there was so much stuff, and all under here there was stuff. So I pulled that out so I could get to it better. And then here I was starting to see stuff, and look, there's a fast food French fry container, it looks like, under there. So I'm going to see if I can pull that thing out and see what's hiding under there. I'd really like to be able to get back into here and clean some of this up too, but I don't think that's going to happen. I got this thing pulled out, and there's more dirt and leaves underneath, so I'm going to tidy that up a little bit. If I see anything that is obvious trash, I'm going to grab it. Now, obvious trash to me and obvious trash to Randy may not be the same thing. So, if you are tidying up in an area that is someone else's stuff, be very mindful of what you mess with, what you move, what you try to organize, what you declutter. Especially don't declutter other people's stuff. But yeah, it's not my area. But see, just getting those leaves out there, it already looks a little bit more tidy. Now this stuff, no, but I'm not going to touch any of that. I found this bag tucked in there. There were a couple of Kleenexes. There was another bag next to it, but then there was also, I don't know if I can show you this. Money. Yeah, there's money down in here. There's a sewing machine back here. I think that's one of my old sewing machines. Probably doesn't work. And it sure is nasty. Well, I don't need it. I don't know why it's back here. But maybe I can pull this stuff out. I don't need it. I'm gonna ask Randy if he needs it for some reason, because I don't think he does. He doesn't sew. If he don't care, I mean, because I've gotten rid of other ones. If he don't care, I'm gonna get this out of here and declutter it. Randy has this bird's nest stuck up here in this shelf. The birds built a nest in our light fixture on our porch a couple years ago, or last year. And so I guess when he took that down, he brought the bird's nest in here. If he doesn't want or need to keep this for some reason, I'm going to put it outside, maybe around my fairy garden. I mean, I think that's better than just having it stuck in here somewhere. I found a bunch of these things on the shelf over there, so I gathered them all together. Some were getting sunlight and some weren't, so hopefully that wasn't intentional. You never know when you're living with a scientist. But I put them in this trash can that I found last week. I wasn't sure if I was going to declutter that or not, but I think that will be the perfect container for these things. And now I just have to find a spot to put them in where they will get sunlight. Well, when I started, I was just going to sweep the leaves and dirt up from that little spot over there. I did, but then I kept on going, and look what a pile I have found. I got more leaves and dirt swept out. I found some things down in there. Got a little line of stuff going on down here that I'm going to ask Randy if it's okay if we go ahead and declutter that. I'm going to ask him about a couple of other things too. Put his stuff back and call it a day. Tell me down in the comments if this is how your tiny tidies go. So I was getting ready to move this little cart thing back over there where Randy had it, and I noticed this little plastic bag down in the bottom part, so I pulled it out. There was nothing in it, but underneath of it was this gardening tool and some gloves. And these are mine, and I've been looking for them for years. I didn't know where they were. Well, they were over here in Randy's stuff, which is why I couldn't find them, because I don't bother Randy's stuff. And so I decided to peek in this box, this one right here, it was on that bottom shelf, to see if there was anything else that maybe was mine. And in the process, I found all of this stuff. So I've got it all lined up here, and I'm going to have Randy look at it and see if any of it can be decluttered. And while I'm waiting on him to do that, I am going to go ahead and clean up all of this little mess right here and put that cart back where he had it. Randy wanted to keep just a few of the things that were in that box. The rest of this is all going to go into the trash or the recycle bin, and all of these things are going to be decluttered, except that I'm going to put that in my fairy garden. And this is what the area is looking like now. You can see there's some empty shelves in here and back in there too. So I think it looks a lot better than it did before. A few things are going to be going away. This is a Singer featherweight sewing machine. My mom used to work at Singer Sewing Machine, and then she worked at Sears in the sewing machine department for years. And I'm not sure which place she was working at when she got this. She worked on sewing machines, and I'm thinking probably someone brought it in and maybe traded it in on a new sewing machine. But she bought it and brought it home to me. So this, well, actually, that was my first sewing machine. That's the little Touch and Sew. The little golden Touch and Sew, I think it is. It's a little Touch and Sew, and it came with a Barbie in it and everything. I was 10 years old. That was technically my first sewing machine, but this would have been my second sewing machine, my first full-size sewing machine. And I think I was probably, I don't know, I was a teenager. But you know, I don't think I ever used it. Maybe once. I don't remember actually using it. Oh, and you can see the case is really dirty because it's been sitting out here. But it needs to be cleaned up. And I think the cord needs to be replaced or fixed or something. But it did work. I don't know. I haven't tried it anymore. So I was thinking about getting it refurbished and maybe setting it up in my office so that if I needed to do a quick mend, you know, like just a straight stitch. These don't do fancy stitches. They only do straight stitches. And I thought, well, I could leave it in there and it'd look nice and everything. I could get it refurbished. And then I just kind of, you know, left it sitting out here. And, you know, I was thinking today, it's been, I don't know, it's been 2 or 3 weeks since I found it and set it over here. And, you know, I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't think I'm going to take it and get it refurbished. So I've decided to go ahead and let it go. And the really cool thing is, one of my nieces, she wants it. It's my great niece. She is a teenager now, and she is interested in learning to sew and stuff. And she knows it only does straight stitches, but she's interested, and I really want to nurture that and cultivate that, because sewing has been a big important part in my family. My mom's mom, she sewed all the time, and she passed that on down to my sister and I. My mom sewed some too, but she passed that on down to us, and then now my sister she's teaching her grandkids to sew. And so, you know, I don't have kids, but I think it's pretty cool that I would be able to pass something on to one of them, something that my mom gave to me, and now I can pass it on to them, and we can continue it on, and they have an interest in it. And rather than this thing just sitting out here in my garage, continuing to deteriorate, which seems to be a silly thing, rather than me just thinking, you know, maybe I could, but then I don't. Yeah, I'm decided, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And so I've decided that I'm going to pass this along to October. That's her name, October. And I hope that she enjoys it for many, many years. So that is my tiny tidy for today. Let me know down in the comments if you did a tiny tidy along with me. Until next time, happy decluttering. Bye. This is just going to have to wait for another tiny tidy. Seems like the deeper I dig, the more I find. And while most of it's yours, some of it's mine. Let's move all those things, get 'em out of your way, so you'll have more places to put things away. Tidy and neat, not all scattered about. Yeah, it's gonna look great when the extra is out. Just a little bit more and we'll have even less. And having less clutter means having less mess. There's my bubby. Did you get your tiny tidy done? Did you get your tiny tidy done today?